Guess what today is? You can't guess, I'll just tell you. It's my 1-year anniversary. Of what, you ask? Did you not read the title of this video? It's been 1 year since I joined the crazy, lazy keto train. Woo! Pork rinds in the teeth. The results are in. I'm down 6 sizes. Actually, a little more than that, but you know how cray-cray women's sizes are. So we're just gonna call it a good, solid 6 pant sizes down from a year ago today. Today, I'm gonna share all about how I found the lazy keto train, what kept me on that crazy train, and am I gonna stay on that crazy train going forward? Right after a dance party. Dance party. Pow. Nailed it. Hey gang, it's Cindy, a midlife girl. I am over here on my channel navigating and narrating my slice of midlife with heart, humor, and a plethora of shenanigans. If you're new here, welcome! And I hope you'd consider subscribing below by clicking that red rectangle-y square below this video box and dinging the little wee gray bell next to it. That way you'll be part of the notification gang and you'll get notifications whenever I upload a new shenanigan, which is maybe once a week or more or less. If you want to connect with me on the daily, you can follow me over on Instagram at A Midlife Girl or on my private Facebook group, which is A Midlife Girl Gang. I approve everyone. Just don't be mean and you're in the group. You're in the gang. I mean, by the time you're in midlife, you got to be part of a gang. Am I right? Yeah. You guys, I have tried to make this video so many times and I get so rambly and I dread editing it all down, but I thought it just needs to happen. I get so many messages from people who just want to know all about my keto journey because over on Instagram for the last year, people have been watching this transformation happen. And I thought, I just need to get it on here. So this is not going to be perfect. This is going to be basically off the cuff. I'm only going to edit out the really ridiculous stuff, the super rambly stuff. But today's video is going to be all about how I started. And it's so important to me that I undergird every time I talk about keto with how I got started, because I believe that what I did to set myself up for success and what I did to continue with success is what made me successful. That's how it works. I've talked about it so much over on Instagram in my stories that I should have just condensed that all down and put it on here. Most people watching YouTube don't like to watch video this way. They like to watch it just this way. You YouTube peeps, this is for you. Back to the beginning. I mean, there really isn't a beginning. This has been something I feel like has been in the works for probably the last 5 years. But last year in January of 2018, because this is being recorded in 2019, April 1st, I was kind of the largest I'd ever been. And I was beginning to have symptoms of my pre-diabetic condition that I'd been diagnosed with before. And I just didn't want to go there. I just really didn't want to go there. But here's what else I didn't want to do. I also didn't want to go on a sucky weight loss journey. What I decided to do at the very, very beginning, before I jumped into any kind of program or researching weight loss or any of the action part of this journey, I decided that it might be a good idea to just kind of get happy. I just wanted to start out knowing that I could find some satisfaction and happiness with where I was, even though my body maybe wasn't where I wanted it to be yet. I just knew that it was not going to be a pleasant journey if I was angry with myself and beating myself up all the time. And so I really set out this intention right from the get-go that unless I found a path to being smaller that felt fun and easy, I wasn't going to play the game. Now I realize that fun and easy are not generally words that are like tossed around in the weight loss community. I mean, I never heard them. I heard people lying about them, but I never heard them. That was the promise I made to myself. Do not take any action, Cindy, until you find a path that feels to you that it's going to be fun and it's going to be easy to do. Along those lines, I started getting really choosy about the words I was going to use when I was either talking to myself or other people about losing weight or a health journey. And I decided to call this whole thing a joy journey because I really pursued joy which I use interchangeably with happiness, but just that kind of satisfied, content, happy feeling that a kindergartner would feel. I live my life as a kindergartner, always pursuing that kindergarten Cindy with her fabulous hair, a little space between her teeth. Instead of hitting it head on, I just thought it was a nice way to come in the back door and to keep my focus on the vitality I feel when I'm joyful, no matter what size I am, the energy that I feel in my body when I'm feeling joyful and happy and content. That's where I put my focus, because in the past, focusing just on, I got to lose weight, I'm going to do it this way, it's going to happen this fast, it just didn't go well. It was just a rough ride. I'm like 52 years old, people. I'm done with rough rides. The other thing I decided was that I was not going to set any kind of weight loss goals, like a weight, like a goal weight or a goal size. I wasn't going to give myself any kind of timeline for this, because I just felt like that was the kindest thing I could do for my body, was just to get out of the way of its own journey to fulfilling my desire for it, which was to, yes, be smaller, but to feel good in my body. I'm only halfway through my life, you guys. I have a lot of life I want to live, and I want to do it in a body that feels good, that I like to dress. I mean, let's be real. It's fun to have cute clothes. I just held those kind of things real loosely. I just kind of kept saying, if I can find my joy, if I can find my happy, this is going to work for me. The very first thing I actually did was nothing. Also known as intentional slothing. Yeah, intentional slothing is a word that I coined to kind of represent how I slowed down the negative brain chatter regarding dieting and my body and past experiences, all those things that kind of play over in your mind that I believe hold you back from really doing the things you want to do and allowing your body to do what it knows how to do naturally. I call that intentional slothing. Yes, sloths are amazingly cute. A little bit gross as you start to read about their lifestyle. They're popular and trendy right now for a reason. They literally have the slowest metabolism of a mammal, I believe. I don't know if that's true. Maybe that's true. Anyway, they have a wicked slow metabolism, which makes them really easy prey on the ground because they don't move very fast. They also look terribly awkward while they're moving on the ground. They live in trees. They basically go up and enjoy the view, and they eat really slow, and they savor their food, and then they just hang out and sleep a lot. I just think that resonates so strongly right now with culture as a whole. I think there's this deep longing in us that wants to give ourselves permission to just slow down, go with the flow, savor our moments, whatever they may be. I think that's why sloths are so popular right now, and llamas, but they have nothing to do with weight loss. So for me, intentional slothing was this practice that I started, which was basically finding a comfortable place, usually early in the morning. Like the first thing I do was to slow my brain processes down. All this whole process and this whole practice, I can't even. The whole practice of intentional slothing, I will do a whole video on that and talk to you specifically about just the different things I did. But just know that what I was trying to do was to slow down any kind of momentum, to slow brain metabolism down, to slow that stuff down enough that I could start rebuilding and laying some new thought patterns in my mind. Generally just following the inspiration after that, because usually after I'd done a little bit of deep breathing, I was feeling pretty good, so I'd milk that for a while. That became my focus, is finding that, what I call the happy, hopeful place. And let me tell you guys, when you do that enough, and it doesn't take long, but when you practice that intentionally long enough, you start living a pretty happy life, regardless of your body size. I knew as I did that, I didn't know how long it was going to take, but I knew that as I did that, that inspiration was going to come and it was going to feel good. And that's how I was going to know it was inspiration. And sure enough, that's what happened. About probably 4 weeks in, I had not changed my eating pattern at all. My husband and I decided to join the Y because we felt like that was a sort of a safe gym to go to, and I joined some aqua classes, which were delightful. It was so good to get in that water. It just felt good to like have a physical reminder of what it felt like to feel weightless. Also, probably 97% of the people in my class were a lot older than me, usually dealing with some kind of health issue or overcoming a health issue. And they were the kindest people. And we listened to 70s music, you guys. We had our little styrofoam weights, danced to ABBA. It was fabulous. It was such a loving, accepting environment for me. And it was a great way to kind of connect with the all is wellness in the world. And it just kind of helped me milk that happy, hopeful place. About 6 weeks after that, so we're talking like 10 or 12 weeks after starting this intentional sloughing process, I started thinking, I think I'm going to try that green smoothie cleanse. I'd done it maybe 2 or 3 times before that. And whenever I'd done it in the past, it always kind of reset my taste buds. And I knew that that might be a good first step. And that after that 10 days, I kind of knew I was going to know what to do next. But I didn't really, again, I just didn't focus there too much. I just took the next step, which for me was this green smoothie cleanse. I got to about day 7 and I was sharing all this on Instagram. And I popped into my stories over there and said, oh my gosh, you guys, I only have a few more days left. And all I can think about is a cheeseburger. A big, fat, juicy cheeseburger. I crave whole foods, but I crave like protein and cheese. I really miss cheese. When I started craving cheeseburgers, I knew I had accomplished my first little hurdle. And so I came on my stories, and I'm going to share that right here. Somebody mentioned in my DMs yesterday about when I said I was craving cheeseburgers, which I still am, that it was like a keto diet. So then I went off on that rabbit trail last night and started researching keto, and it actually sounds pretty good. I mean, wasn't I cute? I was so cute. I was so cute. I was at the gym that day, just on the recumbent exercise bike, which is one step above aqua aerobics. That was how the universe delivered to me the next lighted step. So I jumped onto YouTube and did a search on keto, and I was off to the races. I mean, I threw myself into that. It felt so good and so easy because all the foods that they were talking about were the things that I was physically craving in my body. And you remember that I wasn't going to take any action unless it felt fun and easy. And this felt fun and easy. So I just threw myself into it. I watched YouTube videos. I got books from Barnes & Noble. I read food blogs by people who were doing low carb or keto. I was just enthralled with eating this way. And I mean, you can eat bacon. Let's talk about that. Bacon, people, bacon and avocados. Steak. Yum. And veggies. Veggies too. Veggies are good. Mostly. Not as good as bacon. The other thing was, because I considered cheese a food group and cheese was going to play a large part in my keto journey, I was all about it. You guys, it felt good. That's how I knew that this was going to be the path for me. You might do some intentional sloughing and find your happy, hopeful place and be inspired to something completely different. Just follow that. You'll be successful. That's the whole message right there. I told you I didn't set a weight goal or a size goal or any of those things, but I did set a goal or intention that throughout this whole process, I wanted to learn to be friends with my body and to be friends with my food. Revolutionary, guys, revolutionary. And I got to tell you, that has served me so well, and it's still my goal. It's not like a college degree. Oh, I found happiness. I found out how to make friends with my body, and so forevermore I can hang this document on my wall that says, you're a happy person who's in love with her body. No, it's something that you practice every day. And of course, the more you do it, the easier it becomes. And it's a very natural thing. And you know when you're not doing it. But it's still something I take time to do. And if there's been a bit of time where I haven't taken that time to just appreciate myself and appreciate my life, I find myself going to the ugly place now and then. I just catch it a lot sooner because it feels terrible. Throughout this process, as I felt angsty about one thing or another, you know, people always tweaking keto and like, oh, maybe I need to do that too since I'm doing keto. And I would start to feel like, no. As soon as I would feel overwhelmed with something, I would switch my focus again. I'm here to make friends with my body. I am doing this to make friends with food. I am not going to take any action unless it feels fun and easy. And if this is feeling angsty to me, that's my indication that I am not on the right path anymore. I've kind of done a rabbit trail, so let's get back on the road. That thankfully happened with me with keto about maybe not even 3 weeks into my journey with keto, because we had to travel. We were preparing to go to California. I was going out there with my husband who had a conference, and I thought, I just started keto. How am I going to travel? We were also going to Disneyland. I mean, people, I don't know about you, but food is like a huge part of my vacation. I mean, it's a huge part of my life. Still is. I had to kind of decide at that point, like, I'm just going to do the best that I can, and I'm going to really listen to my body, and I'm going to eat whatever sounds good. And if it's something that's not keto, it's okay, because I'm only 3 weeks in. I can turn that train around pretty easy. I was feeling pretty confident in my ability to do it, and I was just trusting this process. It'd been like 2.5, 3 months of me learning to just like trust what I was hearing my body say and then watch this stuff happen. So I kind of had some experience knowing that it wasn't going to be a big deal. We went on this trip. We never cheated. We never went off plan. It was a wonderful trip. I didn't feel deprived. I didn't eat any sweets, but I ate wonderful, delicious food that my body was really still craving. So when I got home, I made a couple big decisions. I wasn't going to weigh my food anymore. I wasn't going to weigh myself other than maybe once a month or something if I felt like it. I wasn't going to be measuring myself and trying to figure out my macros. I couldn't do any of that. Because to me that went kind of against my intention, which was to just be a more intuitive person, like loving my body and loving my food. Measuring things and stuff at the beginning was helpful. It helped me understand how keto works in my body. And that was helpful to kind of learn what foods I like to eat, how many carbs, protein, fat were in those things. But for the most part, when I got back from that trip, and this is like less than a month in, I dropped all that. And I came to find out that this is called lazy keto. Well, anything with the word lazy in it's going to work for me, you guys, right? That is what I've done from April 15th of last year. Also in July, I stopped weighing myself. I just can't do numbers. I just can't. I didn't want that kind of feedback to be any kind of distraction from the feedback that my body was giving me, which was, you're looking banging hot and this is really fun and let's just keep on this crazy train. I didn't want anything to disturb that mojo, so I just didn't do a scale. Now my husband, on the other hand, thinks it's just tremendously fun to get on the scale every single day and watch his weight fluctuate. And he did drop, I don't know, 24 pounds or something, and he fluctuates within about 3 to 5 pounds of that. He thinks it's just tremendously fun to play that game. But to each his own. If you have an issue with the scale, if you feel good when you lose weight and you feel terrible when you're not losing weight, that means you have an issue with the scale. It's not just like a gas tank where, like, you know, when your car runs out of gas, you don't go, oh my gosh, my life is over, I'm such a loser. No, you just go to the tank and fill up, right? Well, if you can't look at the scale in the same way, like, oh, I'm up a couple pounds, I feel a little bloated, I think today I'm gonna kind of take it easy on the carbs, you know, just this kind of real gentle, that's fine. Keep weighing yourself. Most of us can't do that, at least from what I've heard. I always just say you can't demand your body to perform on a scale and also expect it to conform to your desires for it. It's just, if you've got issues with the scale, you can't do that. It's just, it's an either or. I wanted to let my body off the hook from having to perform for me in any way. So the scale, it just left the conversation. It still doesn't. I've been on this for a year. I was at the doctor a year ago for something else and they did weigh me. I never look at it, so I don't know what it was. I can find out pretty quickly what my beginning weight was. I just prefer to say sizes because, you know, I started at a 24, 26. I'm down 6.5 sizes. So I'm now down to a size 12 pretty comfortably. So hooray. I mean, that tells you what you need to know, right? It doesn't matter what the numbers say. It doesn't matter what the numbers even say in your pants, because I have some pants that are size 12s that are too big, and I have some that are size 14 that are too tight. Crazy. Am I going to stay on this lazy, crazy keto train? I don't know. Right now, it feels good to do that. It's what I know, but I can tell you this. I'm feeling a bit like playing the game of changing some beliefs. The same way I did at the beginning, changing the belief that weight loss needs to be hard, that it needs to be crushing goals, that you need to work out, you need to do all these things. Like, I shifted beliefs about that. I truly believe that you don't need to do those things to lose weight. You need to get happy and follow the inspiration. And I'm feeling now a little bit like, if my goal is to be friends with my body and my goal is to be friends with food, I want to be friends with all food. And I want to trust that my body knows how to process food, regardless of whether it's a carb, a fat, or a protein. And I just want to be an intuitive eater. And so we went on a cruise about a month ago, So I would have been 11 months into my journey, and I did not cheat on the cruise. But towards the end of that, I was feeling a little bit deprived, not of the food, but of the experience of the food, because everybody around you on a cruise is enjoying this delectable, beautiful food that the chefs prepare, just lovely food. And I was feeling like I was missing out a little bit on that. And so it kind of gave me this little desire, this little thing I'm playing with now about, wouldn't it be nice if I could go on a cruise and enjoy food and eat intuitively what my body is craving, and just trust that I'm going to stay in a place of vitality and health. And I want to believe that. And I kind of do believe it, but I haven't tested it yet. So going forward, that's the kind of focused game I'm going to play. I'm going to continue finding my happy, hopeful place by doing intentional slothing, and just play with that a little bit, because that feels good to me. And so just like the inspiration to do the green smoothie cleanse or to join the aqua classes, I believe that the inspiration is going to follow about me moving more into a wider variety of food, as my goal continues to be being friends with my body and friends with my food. So it's been a fun journey, and people don't believe that. And people say, oh, your hard work and dedication inspire me. You have such willpower. No, I don't. I just get happy. If it takes any willpower, it's the will to decide that I want to be happy. I don't want to think thoughts that don't feel good. I don't want to participate in conversations about how hard weight loss is or how hard it is to do things in midlife. I'm not going to participate in those conversations anymore, because that's not a story I want to live out. I want to tell a new story. My new story is going to go something like, I love food. I'm friends with food. I'm friends with my body, and I eat from this wonderful place of joy, and I love a plethora. Isn't that a fun word? Such a fun word. And I want to know that my body is capable of metabolizing the things that I put in it, and that it receives life and nourishment from whatever I give it. That feels so good. That story feels so good. I know I'm on the brink of getting there, and so while I'm happy to continue sharing keto and those kind of things, because I really do love eating the food that's part of the keto lifestyle, don't be surprised if I go get some Amish crack at the donut shop down the road. I want to encourage you, when you see my before and after pictures, that my before picture, I was happy. My after pictures, or my progress pictures right now, I'm happy. Am I happier now than I was then? Absolutely am. Am I happier now than I was then because I'm thinner than I am? No. I'm happier because I practice happiness, and happiness snowballs like anything else. I did not get happy from losing weight. I lost weight because I learned to be happy. And that's the secret sauce. When you find the happy, hopeful place as much as you can, good things come into your life. You don't even have to really think about those big goals that you have. They just kind of happen. It really felt to me like this weight loss journey, this weight loss thing that I did, just kind of happened. Like, I just didn't think about it. It was on autopilot. You know, there were definitely moments when I'd get angsty about it and worry, and because I was not weighing, I had to really tune into what my body was saying and how my clothes felt and things. But as soon as I felt that, you know, I was just like, no, I'm here to have fun. I'm here to make this an easy, fun journey. And I'm here to be friends with my body and friends with my food. And I would just turn my attention elsewhere. And so maybe that was willpower, I don't know, but I had built enough momentum in knowing that I wanted to feel good emotionally and physically that it literally became almost a no-brainer. My biggest hope is that I inspire other people to believe that they can have whatever they want in life, whether it's a smaller body or more money or health or whatever it is that you're desiring in your heart of hearts, that you can have those things in your life if you just get out of your own way and you're willing to look at things in a new way. You're willing to have paradigms shattered, and you're willing to believe that it really doesn't take a whole lot more than just finding the hopeful, happy place. So go off and do some intentional slothing. How about it? So with that, I am off to live my best midlife, and I'm gonna leave you with some silly video of me wearing the clothes that I wore in my before pictures that were taken a year ago. So have a happy day, you guys. Okay, friends, here we go. These are 3X. So what is that, like a 24 or something? I don't know. I was about a 24, 26. If I went to buy jeans, I was going to be buying a 26, which I wasn't wearing jeans at that point. I just wore stretchy, comfy things because that's what made me happy. Anyway, so yeah, this is what cracks me up right here. Look. Yeah. Oh wait, how do I do this? Yeah, just saggy bottoms. Yeah. So these are the actual clothes that I wore in my before pictures, and I thought it would be fun to kind of show you guys. So I did want to say that it's so fun to put these. I loved these pants. I gotta tell you, when I took those before pictures, I was really dreading it up until the time I actually took the pictures, and then when I took them and I looked at them, I wasn't disgusted. I was like, well, yeah, I'm bigger than I want to be. No big deal. I'm going to change that. No big deal. I really felt pretty that day. I loved these pants. In fact, I was sad when they started getting too big for me because I loved these. Like, I mean, come on, they're cute, right? I mean, not so cute now. Like MC Hammer time.